Mom locked the kitchen again. Fifth night in a row. No dinner for liars, she spat, twisting the key like it hurt her to touch it. Dad nodded behind her. This is good for you, builds discipline. My stomach screamed louder than I did, but I smiled, quiet, careful. They thought I lied about eating. They thought I lied about hunger, about weakness, about needing anything at all. They didn't know I stopped crying 2 years ago. Didn't know I started planning the day they first skipped my birthday dinner to teach me humility. It was on the third day of no food when I fainted during morning assembly. The nurse gasped when she weighed me. Straight to 911. Straight to IV bags and shaking hands. And then to the truth. The hospital ran blood work. They called it intentional malnutrition due to domestic neglect. I watched the nurse's face twist when I whispered, "They locked the kitchen, said I lied too much." She didn't ask more, she just wrote. And that was the beginning of the end. For them. You wouldn't guess it from the outside. Our house was big, painted, clean. Mom wore pearls to PTA. Dad coached the church basketball team. And me? I was the quiet one, the moody daughter. Too pale, too thin, too suspicious. They said I was dramatic, ungrateful, all while they starved me into silence. They weren't always monsters. When I was 7, Mom braided my hair every morning before school. When I was 9, Dad brought home chocolate chip pancakes on Fridays. But then I got older. I started asking questions. Why is my little brother fed first? Why is my college fund a waste? Why is it disrespect when I speak? The answers were always punishment. I kept a notebook under my mattress, documented everything. Dates, times, locked fridge, missing meals, bruises that never needed fists. Starvation is slow, but so is revenge. At the hospital, the nurse handed me a phone. "Anyone you trust to call?" she asked. I paused, then dialed Miss Carter, my old school counselor. She was the first person who ever asked if I was safe. And this time, I told her everything. CPS visited the house the next day. I was still in the hospital. I heard Mom cried. Dad yelled. But the state didn't care about tears. They cared about records, and I had years of them. Turns out, a locked kitchen with a child fainting at school is very illegal. So is siphoning her college fund into your gambling debt. So is threatening her silence with a belt you never had to swing. I didn't return home. Instead, I went to a temporary care home. Safe bed, hot food, and a lawyer. Mine. See, when they starved me, they made a mistake. They thought I was weak. But starving a child doesn't make her forget. It makes her focus. I handed my lawyer the notebook. She looked at me like I was fireproof. Maybe I was. Court took 6 months. Every minute, I sat straight, silent. Mom sobbed on the stand. Dad ranted about disrespectful daughters. But the evidence was airtight. Photos, doctor's notes, bank statements, testimonies. Even my little brother cracked. He admitted he was told to call me the liar. He said he was just doing what Dad said. When the judge ruled in my favor, I didn't smile. I just breathed. The house was seized for investigation. My college fund? Frozen. But here's the twist. That waste of a college fund was in my name. And once the investigation proved misuse, it was returned. Every last cent. Now, Thanksgiving, 1 year later. I'm at my aunt's. She believed me, took me in. She made turkey, mashed potatoes, apple pie from scratch. She said, "Invite whoever you want." So I did. I invited the CPS agent, my lawyer, Miss Carter, and the nurse who called 911. We sat around the table. I wore a soft sweater, ate until I was full, and then I stood to toast. "To liars," I said, voice calm, knife sharp, especially the ones who locked their love behind kitchen doors. They raised their glasses. I didn't have to explain the rest. Because somewhere across town, in a much smaller apartment, Mom and Dad sat alone. No guests, no food they didn't earn, no daughter to mock or starve. And when reporters showed up asking about the court case that shook the county, they had only one word for it: lies. But this time, no one believed them. I didn't get justice by screaming. I got it by remembering, recording, waiting. And when the time came, I didn't ask for permission. I took it. They tried to erase me by starving me, but all they did was sharpen me. I wasn't the liar. I was the ledger. And I never forget a debt.